Thank you so Thank you so much. Yeah, we do understand that AI is like, I mean, every era, every decade has its own kind of a thing that it must be remembered for. Like there were computers, then there were internet, and now we talk a lot about AI. And it is yet to be seen that uh, how beneficial is actually the use of AI and what are the challenges that are also becoming a part of this. I recently conducted a consultancy with an organization who has embedded AI in their HR functions. So it was a very interesting debate because, as generally it is assumed that AI is supposed to make things easy, but for that particular organization, AI was becoming a bit of a challenge in terms of their HR systems. So this like led me to decide upon this topic that we should be reviewing the ethics of AI in HR and what protocols should be followed, what can be done in order to reduce the element of biasness, what kind of a biasness can be there. Uh, are you guys able to hear me clearly? Am I audible clearly? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. There is, which I'm trying to identify and cancel that microphone, but you may proceed, Dr. Hassan.
All right, thank you so much. And we will be talking about, obviously, the different HR functions and how AI can be embedded in that while removing the biasness and ensuring the transparency. Now, what is to get an overall idea, I mean, AI is supposed to make the systems easy. By systems, we understand that in human resource management, we talk about human resource planning as a base function. Then there is recruitment and selection, which is another important function of human resource management. And the companies, they consider this as the most valuable, most, I would say, strategic part of their HR system, because hiring the right person for the right job is a critical aspect for any organization's success, because when you have the right people on board, only then you will be able to obviously uh, achieve your mission and vision. That is pretty obvious. So how is AI playing its role in terms of making recruitment and selection better, or is it causing any kind of a bias? Is it causing any kind of an issue? Same goes for the other HR functions, including performance management, compensation and benefit, employee motivation. These are all the HR functions that I'm going through. You know, in all the sessions, since I am an expert, I won't call myself an expert, but I'm a student and a teacher of HRM. So I would always start with recalling all the HR functions which are there. So we start with human resource planning, recruitment and selection, performance management, managing compensation and benefits, employee motivation, performance appraisals, employee safety and health, labor unions and negotiations, and so on. So these are the major functions that basically any typical HR department is supposed to handle. The overall objective of any HR department is to ensure that employees serve as a source of competitive advantage for the organization, and whatever is done for the employees, it is in the best interest of not only the organization, but for the people as well. So the question is that why are we talking about ethics? Now, the definition of ethics is very interesting. Whatever comes to your mind, you can use the chat box and write it down. But I was having a class like few years back. I was studying a course on ethics, and our teacher asked us that what is the definition of ethics, and we just looked it up on the internet and tried to come up with different answers. So one of the very interesting definitions that our teacher gave was that ethics can be defined as something that you can do and admit publicly. That is called an ethical thing. And if you obviously cannot claim or admit something publicly, so that can be having an ethical challenge. This was an interesting definition given to us by my teacher, and I really hold on to it. I would like to hear your opinion. I would like to hear Dr. Valkin's opinion on this as well, because ethics is got is a bit different than the legal aspect which is being followed in the organization. Ethics sometimes refers to a gray area in which there is no clear discrimination between right and wrong, black or white. So, when it comes to using AI in HR practices, we are going to talk about this today. That there are some ethical concerns that they do come up. If you are able to think of any ethical concern when it comes to using AI, you can always use the chat box and write it down. And I hope that you do agree with my definition of understanding what ethics are. We do talk about this a lot. We understand what ethical concerns are, or how, what do we understand by ethics in a business organization. So as far as the key challenges and biases are concerned, and the focus or element on the fairness, this responds to the element of having ethical concerns on top, because when an organization would want to be fair, obviously they can always find a loophole in their legal system. But when it comes to making sure that ethically they are standing, they have clear footing, they are standing on the right ground. So then the focus would be on fairness. Now, in today's world, as I just mentioned, that AI is being embedded in many HR functions, including recruitment and selection. And particularly when it comes to recruitment screening, AI is playing a very dominant role. Uh, how would you feel if you are applying for a job? How would you feel? Would you want to be interviewed by an individual like myself, or would you want to be interviewed by a computer, by AI? The response to this question will obviously give you some opinion regarding the ethical concerns and the fairness element. I would like to ask Dr. Valkin. Dr. Valkin, if you are to give an interview, a job interview, if I'm just assuming, all right, I'm sure that you are pretty happy with your job right now. So I'm just assuming that if you are to give a job interview in future, would you want to give that interview to a human or to an AI? This is a question for you.
Definitely, Hassan. I'm worried. I'm wary of the that you just mentioned, because whenever we are dealing with a human, ethical, that individual may deem he or she is some elements of bias, underlying factor of perception about the world, etc., etc. And that bias is not in line with whatever the institution that I could belong to wants to achieve. So I'm not sure really I would use artificial intelligence, because there is no way we can actually measure whatever extent of bias is so often geared towards conducting the interview myself, because I trust myself whenever I'm dealing with
Wonderful,
people. I don't know
wonderful.
who is a female, a male, etc. There are some factors which I would tend to avoid in order to, be far, far away. As far
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Velkin. I mean, just to tell you once again, there is a bit of distortion when you are speaking. I'm not sure, is it just me, or is it like everyone is experiencing the same, but there is some disconnectivity when you speak,
one,
but I'm
two,
able to
three.
understand. Am I able to understand your answer? Thank you so much for
Very
sharing.
welcome.
This now this in itself is an ethical dilemma. I mean, as an HR manager, as a CEO of an organization, if you are given a choice that you have to choose between conducting an interview by an HR panel while hiring somebody, or would you want to use AI, this in itself is an ethical challenge because you
Yes.
understand that, yeah, because you understand that the computer or the entire AI or the system will have its own criterias, will have its own measuring tools, and somehow it may not be as efficient as it is assumed to be. This is still something that is ongoing, but obviously there is always room for improvement. Now, most organizations, I mean, some top level multinationals in Pakistan, where I am right now, companies like Procter and Gamble, companies like Nestle, they are using AI as a tool of initial screening. I mean, not as a tool of eventually hiring the individual, but as part of initial screening, they are using this tool because there are a lot of applicants when it comes to entry level positions. The number of applicants is very high. So they would want to make sure that the initial screening from the lot is done. Sometimes the human involvement becomes much costly. So why not rely on an AI tool which can do the screening? And I do remember that I was helping out one student regarding securing a position at a top company. So she had to appear in an interview where there was actually AI was taking the interview. So it was not a human on the other side. It was just the computer, and it was asking questions, and it was measuring your body language, your confidence, your responses. And I was wondering that even if the applicant is not able to speak uh, proper English, and even if AI misinterprets what he or she is saying, so how fair is the recruitment or screening process going on? However, this is still something that is under review. Same goes for performance analytics that the companies they do conduct their performance reviews like six after 6 months or a 1 year annual review. Companies are doing it. Not all performance review. You can the people who are actually working in organizations who are in this session. You can evaluate that if your performance review is completely shifted to AI and there is no element of human involvement in it. What do you think? Will it become more efficient, or do you think it will create more problems? I mean, even I wonder that as a teacher, when I'm marking the papers or exams, or when I'm like checking the papers of my students, uh, sometimes I do wonder that I should give it a try, that I should uh, upload all those papers on an AI tool like Gemini or Chat GPT maybe, and ask it to give them marks. So I would want to compare those marks with my evaluation. So I'm pretty sure that the deviation or variation is going to be very high, because as humans we tend to have an element of empathy, we tend to have an element of emotions, uh, and obviously we are to evaluate so many factors which the AI may be able to ignore. However, this does not mean that AI is not efficient. I'm just laying a thought, I'm just giving an idea that these are the challenges that are being faced by HR departments when it comes to using AI in their tools. Similarly, employee monitoring, a succession planning, like the if the companies start heavily relying on AI to build up the systems for their major functions which are being done in the organization, then it has to ensure that fairness is there, biasness is completely removed. We are going to see some examples in the coming slides where the AI has done some things which do fall under the umbrella of being a bit biased and a bit unfair. We will come to those examples in coming slides. All right, moving forward. As I've just said, that we cannot ignore the benefits of AI. It is supposed to be efficient. It is supposed to do more things in less time. This is how we define efficiency, that the companies are able to save a lot of time and cost, and quick decision making is there, and the system becomes more efficient. How because the decisions are largely based on data. This is another interesting and important debate, and it's an ongoing debate, because Google initially started this thing that they wanted to eliminate the role of humans in evaluating the performance of employees. They wanted to develop an algorithm, uh, a set of algorithms that would focus on evaluating all the employees based on all their criterias, their technical skills, their soft skills, their participation, and all the different factors which are generally there when it comes to evaluating the employees. However, this system is still undergoing trial. It's not finalized yet. I do wonder that what is going to be the biggest challenge that Google is facing. Obviously, the challenge is that it is AI versus humans. So you need to understand that humans are dynamic, humans are diverse, humans are they have their own certain needs, and humans are going through an evolutionary process. If you review the whole journey of this corporate, I would say the corporate journey of all the companies over the years, so you may be able to understand that this is an evolutionary kind of a system. Starting from industrialization and moving forward, and now currently in the AI field, and God knows what is coming later. So this evolution needs to settle first, rather than just handing it over to a different system. This needs to evolve on its own with the passage of time. So, anyways, the companies are taking benefit of this thing. They are using AI to have data-driven decisions. And obviously, the main benefit is that the workload or the burden that decisions are bound to make on humans, it is reduced. The administrative burden is taken over by AI. AI helps a lot. Now, what are the ethical risks? Uh, since AI is based upon a set of algorithms and set of systems, so that there can be some embedded bias. What kind of bias? I know that you must be wondering that what kind of bias can be there. We'll come to the examples later on. Transparency is another ethical risk when it comes to AI. However, AI uh, should be more transparent as compared to humans, but in terms of the practical application, this is not the case. The transparency becomes an ethical concern, and over reliance on algorithms. Why this is an ethical concern? Because again, uh, humans. You may have seen movies where there are smart homes, and there is, a lot is being shown on television and on movies as well, where there are Android housekeepers, there are smart homes, there are cleaners in the home, which are robots and computers. So we sometimes do tend to see that they cannot even make sense of the logic, that the logic which makes us human, makes us dynamic, makes us unique. So over reliance on algorithms can also become a concern, an ethical risk. All right, moving forward. Now, to understand the bias, what kind of bias could be there? Algorithm biases, data biases, and human in the loop bias are three main factors, including all the other elements which can play a role. Like an algorithm is a set of decisions. Now, what if something is happening that is beyond that set of algorithms? So the algorithm would not be able to understand or determine, or I would say to grasp that thing, and there can be a bias. For example, I mean, just a very typical and a common example that if you are to appear in a job interview and uh, the kind of responses that you are giving, they may be that I mean, they can be summed up using an algorithm, but there is still a possibility that you are talking about something, or you are mentioning something, or you are highlighting some of your skill set, which are not like which the algorithm may not be able to give true value to. For example, I just want to give you my own example in this scenario. I hope you will be able to relate to this. Now, I have done specialization in human resource management. I did my MBA back in 2004. So when I started looking for jobs, I was obviously applying and looking for positions related to HR. So throughout, I mean, in four companies that I gave interview in, I got selected in two and I got rejected in two. So I had a 50% success ratio, to be very honest, before I actually started teaching. So, uh, but in three of the organizations, the managers, they told me that you should be in marketing. The way you communicate, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, your expertise are more relevant when it comes to the marketing and sales. Now, this led me to understanding a question that I have done specialization in HRM. Why are they asking me or offering me a position in marketing? Now I can relate that this is something that 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 can turn out to be an aspect of bias when it comes to understanding or evaluating the employees on a certain yardstick, on a certain criteria that the algorithm is following. All right. So then there is the human in the loop bias. I mean, you do need to understand that it is not AI versus AI. It is not computer versus computer. It is not algo versus algo. There is an element of human beings as well. So there always is going to be a bias. Now, what are the sources of these biases? Now, historical data inequalities, like for example, if you ask AI right now that I'm just hypothetically speaking, if you just ask AI now that how many over the years, what is the percentage of female CEOs that have taken over a job? So obviously the AI based on the data will tell you that around 7%, 10%, or maybe 15%. I mean, but a very small number of females have been able to reach to the CEO position. And this is now based on data that is being secured by AI. Now, based on this algorithm, if AI is supposed to give CEO positions in coming years, so obviously relying on this data would give it a hint. I'm not saying that AI will be completely relying on this, that we only have to give the CEO positions to 10-15% females only, but this data is going to play a role in biasness in generating inequality. And this has happened in companies like Amazon, even. In Amazon, based on the data that AI had, AI made decisions which were not in favor of females because it is making decisions based on the historical data. So, I mean, if you want to like tweak the data for AI to make decisions, then the element of fairness, transparency would become a problem. So this is a gray area. This is a tricky thing to be understood. I mean, AI can learn. Artificial intelligence obviously can learn, but it needs to have some foundation regarding where to make adjustments and where the tweaking is required. Similarly, when it comes to using AI in other HR functions, now the element of the job description is something that when it comes to working in organizations, I think that most employers would want to have a very open kind of a job description for the employees to follow because they don't want to end up in a legal matter. I mean, if an employee stands up and says that the task that you are asking me to do is not a part of my job description, so uh, s- uh, one of the very, I would say, one of a very weird kind of practice that I saw was that when I was signing my first offer or contract letter, it had like 10 points that you need to agree on as an employee. I mean, they were about teaching courses and so on. And then at the end, there was a line that as an employee, you would do anything that is asked by your supervisor. So I did wonder, but this is like back in 2005, and now it is fixed. But I did wonder at that time that what does this line mean? I mean, why am I signing to a to something which has like unlimited repercussions? I mean, how can I really tell that what my employer actually desires from me? Anyways, so the the biasness is basically generated from the available information, and that needs to be considered. As I've already mentioned that there is an example of Amazon that its hiring tool was being biased when it comes to specific type and kind of people. That discrimination may be based upon gender, it can be based upon race even, or it can lead to many legal issues for the organizations. Discriminatory screening algorithms, because the algorithms need to be designed in a way that they are able to accommodate all the possible applicants, and that somehow becomes a challenge mostly for the organizations. So this discrimination, it becomes an example of having bias in the uh, HR system. Now, how to have fairness in AI systems? There is the focus or angle of the organization, or I would say the HR system, should be on to continuously improve their models, their systems. Uh, it has to make sure that every factor is considered. By transparency and by fairness, we understand that each and every factor needs to be reviewed and considered before embedding AI into your core systems. Because AI would want to be, it has to make sure that it is complying to the company policies, mission and vision, and it is complying to the legal obligations of the working system as well. Now, provision of equal opportunity, having an inclusivity angle of model design disparity impact. This means that fairness in AI system is still a concern when it comes to most of the organizations. And you can always have a look, you will find many examples where the fairness element has been challenged by the people who have been affected by the systems of AI. Now, what are the transparency challenges? Now, there is something called as a black box algorithm because it's something that is hidden. Sometimes you don't know why the AI is making specific decisions. If you guys are heavily yourself, if you guys are heavily relying on ChatGPT or Gemini or DeepSeek or any other AI, obviously most of us will be using the free version of that, and that is supposed to be uh, and there is a statement written in the down that it is an AI model and it can make mistakes. So always cross check your information. So we do understand that whatever is happening inside the black box, whatever is happening inside the mind of AI, it cannot be completely trusted 100%, because the algorithm, it can lead to an outcome. That outcome maybe mathematically it can be right, but logically it would not make any sense. So this is a transparency challenge, because uh, when these matters they go to the court, obviously it cannot be mentioned in the court that since AI, artificial intelligence, did something, so it costed the employee something or the company something. This cannot be considered as a valid excuse. So the transparency challenge or the element is always there, because when it comes to AI decision making, there is something happening behind the scenes. Now, this behind the scenes concern becomes a challenge. Similarly, explainability. uh, I mean, AI is so much into our lives right now because I just clicked a button and AI is just wants to respond to one of the text messages that I just got. I do wonder that where is it going to end, anyways. So then there is explainability gaps because, as mentioned in the black box algorithm, that you are not able to justify, you're not able to clearly as a challenge. I'm not saying, still, once again, let me clarify that I'm not saying that AI is not helpful. It is indeed a very helpful tool to make systems more efficient. But when it comes to the challenges, this is one of the challenge that the information that is, the processes that are hidden, uh, they are sometimes difficult to explain, and it leads to lack of accountability as well, because it is a computer generated system, a computer generated answer, response, evaluation, screening, performance appraisal. Where is it going to be challenged? Because it may have some logic that is being used, but obviously that logic is happening behind the scenes, and sometimes it can make big blunders and big mistakes as well based on the algorithm. Now, there is explainable AI. What is the solution of all this? That explainable AI is something that the companies would want to work on so that the models are basically transparent and everyone is able to understand what it is. It benefits the HR systems in many ways, and the tools and techniques that are being used in the explainable AI, XAI, focus on making sure that fairness, transparency becomes a regular part, a regular element of all the HR functions that are being done. Now, we do understand that this is going to be a time consuming process, and most of the organizations would want to adapt AI, but with slowly and gradually they would be embedding it in their systems and as a supportive tool. My main argument as an individual, and you can always disagree, my main argument is that AI should be used as a supportive tool rather than something that becomes primary. It should be used as a something that is making the lives better, rather than something that is actually leading us, that is actually taking over us. It should be helping us to make sure that uh, they are in a support role. Now, why is it important? It is important because uh, it ensures accountability, it builds trust, especially for complex models that may be transparent, that may not be as transparent as the people want them to be. Considering the AI adoption and considering the regulatory compliance requirements by uh, the entities which are looking after the HR systems now being evolved under AI, the regulatory entities, they want explanatory AI to play its role and make things more, I would say, more transparent and fair, so that the people are able to understand and resonate and give rationale to the decisions that are taking places. The regulatory landscape uh, focuses on the goodness of for everyone, for the greater good. The usage of AI should be focused on making sure that it is benefiting everyone, rather than just focusing on a specific function or specific people. It should be focusing on making sure that it is benefiting everyone. Now, this EU AI Act is the world's first comprehensive legal framework for AI using a risk-based approach to regulate systems based on their potential harms. Uh, as I've already mentioned, what are the potential harms? AI imposes strict risk, a high risk for companies like in the process of recruitment and similarly when the companies are using chatbots, even when it comes to dealing with the questions and clients and dealing with the queries, there is a strict regulatory requirement which tries to ensure that no wrong information is being given. Have you guys ever talked to AI and asked about your medical condition? Now, I mean, if you are like having a stomach ache, maybe, though you may be writing to Chat GPT or Gemini that what could be the reason. So uh, generally the response is that the AI system says that as an AI model, I'm not a medical practitioner, so I'm unable. It's a disclaimer statement. It does tell you that you must be having gas, maybe, or you must have eaten something wrong. But generally, it says that uh, I'm not a disclaimer statement that I am not a medical practitioner. So this kind of things helps them to uh, provide a disclaiming statement regarding AI being the 100% accurate when it comes to uh, its usage and application. It the Similarly the EEOC guidelines, the federal employment discrimination laws are applied on it, and they would want to make sure that there is no discrimination based on age, gender, race, or any other factor. So AI also is not exempted from this. The if AI fails to comply to anti-discriminatory laws, then the employers are held responsible for those shortcomings. And this is a very serious thing that needs to be considered. Now, there are some ethical frameworks that we need to have a look at when it comes to using AI. For example, utilitarian view and deontological perspective and virtue ethics in HR AI. In the meantime, I would suggest if you still have any question or any opinion that you would want to share or ask, please feel free to share that. Now, AI or any other technology should
I'm so
be.
sorry to interrupt, taking advantage of your invitation, Dr. Hassan. There's been a question by Enoch Nirongo who asked, does the issue of ethical risk involve health and moral ethics as well? Does the issue of ethical risk involve health and moral ethics as well?
Sorry, health. Sorry,
The,
Dr. Valkin, can you please, yeah, can you please
okay. Am I
repeat the question?
still breaking as you said earlier? No?
I'm able to hear you clearly now, but
Okay.
can you please repeat the question? Yeah.
The question from Enoch Nirongo is as follows. Does the issue of ethical risk involve both health and moral ethics?
Both health and moral ethics. Sorry, what?
Yes, that's the orientation of the question. Are the risks in ethics dealing with artificial intelligence about both health and moral ethics? Are moral and health ethics involved in the types of risk we are talking about?
Uh, Obviously, the moral challenges are obviously there, but we are largely being in HR. We are largely concerned about the ethical risks that can lead to legal challenges later, because this is like regarding the organizational perspective more. So the ethical challenges that can become a problem for the organization later on in terms of legal challenges has more, I would say, value or more are more important as compared to the morals, because we do understand that in businesses the element of morality is something that is like I would say it's just something like CSR. I mean, the companies they
Mhm.
would want to talk about it, but when it comes to doing it, we would
It's a
rarely
different ball of
find,
game.
yeah, we would rarely find any specific example of
Okay.
that. So
Uh-huh.
largely it is about the legal frameworks or avoiding legal challenges, which can
Okay.
eventually harm the reputation of the organization. All
All
right.
right. Thank you very much. You may proceed, please.
Welcome. Your mic is now working perfectly fine. Yeah. Yeah,
All
this was
right.
a good way to check your mic as well. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for, yeah, and it does give me a break as well, because my I mean my although I really like talking a lot, but I do need a break as well after
All right.
35 40 minutes. All right, so thanks for that. Okay. So the utilitarian view regarding ethical framework of AI is that it should be designed and used to maximize the overall utility for everyone, for the greater good, for the use of everyone. So rather than just focusing on a specific organizational mission and vision, AI should be embedded and used in the systems which are benefiting everyone. I mean, they should make lives of everyone easy, but not obviously at the cost of replacing humans as employees. The other perspective is a framework for artificial intelligence where the morality of an AI action is based on adherence to rules and duties regardless of the outcome. Now, this is an interesting perspective, and this may respond to the question that was raised earlier, that uh, when it comes to deontological ethics, the priorities are on principles like respect for user privacy, fairness and transparency as fundamental duty for AI, and there should be no compromise on that. So this can be considered as a question of morality when it comes to using AI. And similarly, the ethics, the virtue ethics in it is like combining the human needs and combining the human principles and making an algorithm on that so that people are able to benefit for that rather than becoming a challenge. Uh, Human oversight, human involvement in AI systems, I guess this is one of the solutions, because solely relying on AI systems can be a bit tricky, a bit challenging. So having the human in the loop and uh, having a cross check of the decisions that the AI is making using the systems, using humans as humans. Yeah, by humans we mean obviously the managers as individuals who are able to audit the decisions which are being made so that the system keeps on improving, and it also leads to shared accountability. So relying solely on AI may not be the currently may not be the right approach. Having an element of humans should be also very important. Similarly, since AI is largely relying on data, so data governance, the quality of data that has been fed to AI, its concerns. I mean, when it comes to data, the privacy and security concerns are quite high, and taking the consent and complying to the government laws and to the legal frameworks is important when it comes to application of AI. The quality of data matters a lot because if there has been a selective, I would say selective input of data, then obviously the output would be uh, challenging. Uh, when it comes to designing fair AI, so the diversity and quality and richness of the data the trial and error of the biasness testing tools, and the inclusivity of everyone on board to make sure that fairness becomes a top priority, fairness stays a top priority, and the ethical concerns that need to be addressed when it comes to using AI are regularly reviewed. Now, very quickly going through that for example, in recruitment process, the resume screening ethics need to be outlined that on what grounds, on what criterias would the AI would screen applicants. For example, if I'm submitting my CV somewhere and if I write in it that I have been a very good sportsman or I've been a member of so many communities, so if it is not embedded in the AI system that they are only focusing on the relevant skill set, so they may be ignoring my soft skills completely, which may turn out to be a downside when it comes to the screening because if a human being is going through that screening process, he or she may be able to consider that as something valuable. Uh, AI can also help in predictive assessments, and now the companies, as I just mentioned, that they are using automated interviews, but one can still think and imagine that how effective would those be. The future of ethical AI in HR leads to uh, the keyword being responsible. I mean, I think that this is one of the key elements or key solutions to the ongoing problem of AI, that the responsibility should be assumed by all the entities which are using the data. But so far, unfortunately, all the mega companies that are using the data have been heavily criticized for to ensure the security and privacy because the element of consent is not there. So, I mean, companies like Facebook, companies like Google, they face huge criticism over the fact that they may be manipulating the data. So, without data, how can AI actually work? So, and it is obviously impossible to take consent of everyone. So, there are always going to be ethical challenges when it comes to implementation of AI in the systems that specifically involve people in it. What are the best practices that HR leaders can do? AI audits should be performed. I mean, all systems they need to be reviewed regularly. No system is perfect, so AI audits can also be there. The vendors who are providing AI services they should be evaluated. Um, there should be regular employee communication and feedback input should be taken from the employees regarding understanding that how can they actually improve. The conclusion is that ethics are as essential as AI. AI is critical to the success or to the efficiency of any organization, and so are the ethics. So, just letting go of ethics and not focusing on the fairness is not the right way to go. Transparency leads towards building trust, and obviously, fair AI ensures that better HR outcomes are there. So, I hope that this was a thought provoking kind of a presentation that we just had. It just after going through this presentation, I am able to understand a few questions are coming to my mind as well. So I'm sure that all of you would be having questions also. So I'm ready to take them now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hassan. As expected, you have delivered a truly phenomenal presentation on the world of artificial intelligence, letting us know that yes, we can use AI for our needs, but we've got to make sure transparency, trust, and bias avoidance also be part of the whole process so that we can get all the advantages of artificial intelligence. Thank you very much, Doc. You've done a great job. Ismail Adebola, the first question. We all ears, Ismail. So you may remove the presentation,
Good
Dr.
morning.
Hassan, so that we can better look at all the faces around. Ismail, we are ready.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Good
Hi.
morning, doctor. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my question is on ethical framework. Yeah, this is the question. What ethical frameworks should guide the development and implementation of artificial intelligence tools in human resources? And how can these frameworks address the potential for unethical outcomes related to hiring and performance evaluation?
Thank you so much, Ismail, for the question. It's always a pleasure having you. Uh, I mean, it's always great to hear questions from your side. I think Dr. Welkin nominated you as a champion as well, yeah? The champion of our
Yes,
class,
he
obviously.
is always on the top,
Yeah,
arriving very, very
it's really
early.
wonderful, really great.
Practical
Uh,
man.
I mean, there, in response to your question, there are obviously many frameworks, so we cannot just like highlight any one specific framework. But as I've mentioned, that responsibility, fairness, transparency, uh, and regular audit. These four factors, at least, and few more of them, they should be a part of that framework because solely relying on AI to make decisions on the behalf of managers would not be enough. There needs to be a regular upgradation or regular audit of the data of the decisions that the AI is taking. So that framework should have transparency and fairness as one of the core aspects of embedding those systems.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Nicholas Itam. It is your turn now, if you're ready. Nicholas.
Yeah, thank you very much,
You're very welcome.
Dr. Umar, and our
The
saying.
host.
Thank you very much for the lecture. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So, well, I've been told the critics are saying, or
We are listening, Nicholas.
that AI, yeah, that AI is not going to take people's job. Only it will eliminate some operational job. Is it true?
Prof.
Uh, uh, you're saying that the critics are saying that AI is only good to replace the operational jobs. Is this your
That's what.
question?
Yes. Yeah. Is it
All right.
true?
Uh, I don't think so. I mean, this is like a bit away from my topic, but in my personal opinion, I think that the potential of AI goes far beyond the operational jobs, and obviously, it can make better and informed decisions. I mean, when it comes to strategic roles, even AI, the companies like Google are using algorithms to take decisions. Uh, for example, regarding product research, for example, regarding launching a new campaign. So AI is benefiting the businesses in much ways, but it cannot be done solely without human involvement. Like there is not like humans versus AI is not the right angle to think
Yeah,
about. Uh,
agree.
uh, Humans and I guess, is the right way to respond to your question, I guess.
I love that perspective from you. As I don't see any other hand around, I have a question of my own, Dr. Hassan, if you don't mind. I am very, very deeply involved in the use of artificial intelligence for everything that I do, actually, writing, video production, and some other things as well. But what surprised me the most is artificial intelligence is not really open to everybody. For all the platforms that I use artificial intelligence for, I have to pay. I can use, let's say, one instance for free, but if I want to get deeper, then I have to pay. This was my biggest surprise, which means to me that if I want to continue with the use of artificial intelligence, then I have to prepare a budget. What do you think? It's not
Yeah,
free.
yeah, obviously, because you know that, I mean, apart from the payment, there is another thing that, I don't know how real is it, but they say that when you ask AI a question, there is like 4 liter or 5 liter of water being used somewhere to cool down the
Yes,
engines
yes,
which are
yes.
running the AI system. I'm not sure whether this is true or not. The thing is that the access of AI, obviously, for now it is a commercial product.
Yes.
What I have seen is that it has its restrictions. Even when you are using the paid, I mean, apart from the visuals, right now the commercial AI is just posing a threat on social media. I was going through a video today. I'm just like on social media a lot. I was going through a documentary today on which the person was saying that social media is dead. Why? In 2025, social media has been taken over by AI because now AI is going to generate content for you that you are going to watch. Like uh, when it comes to reels or shorts, like how can a person be able to engage people with them? Like if I'm making funny content, for example, so how can I produce so many jokes as compared to an AI tool doing the same? So why wouldn't the user or the viewer watch the AI tool rather than watching a human who is trying to create jokes on its own, that AI may be able to do it better and more frequently even, more than humans. However,
Yes.
apart from this one, like apart from just small factors of AI dominating somewhere, like it is dominating on deep fakes, it is dominating on making fake images and fake videos, but the usage for the betterment, even in education, that is still to be learned. I mean, uh, although it does give you a lot of perspectives to think about, but I'm not sure that apart from being a helping hand, what other role can AI actually play?
True.
Apart from just being a very wonderful helping hand for that matter, what
Yes.
other role can, and obviously at a very pricey cost, you have to pay a lot for it.
You have to pay. Dr. Hassan, I know it's about time for you to go, but I have two more hands
It's
up.
all
I
right.
don't
It's my
know.
dinner time, but I can take two questions. No
I
worries.
really appreciate that. Grace Kelly, let's take advantage of that.
Good morning or good afternoon, depends on where you are.
Hi.
Yes, I'm fascinated about the context and content that was shared. And we can appreciate the use of AI in different industries, but I'm in the counseling mental health field. And one of the things that we are encouraged to do is to ensure that when we utilize the AI, we should know that AI must not replace the human compassion because it doesn't think, it doesn't feel. And
Yes.
earlier, our Dr. Hassan was saying, in terms of the response, the AI seemed to have been trained to be ethical. Because if you ask something, not just in medicine, but in other areas, it will tell you how not to use that information. And it's quick to say that, remember, AI can make mistakes, so please double check. So those are some of the things I can appreciate. And moving forward, yes, AI is going to play a very significant role. It is playing a very significant role in our development, but we just have to ensure that the human compassion is not subsumed into our desire to get answers over the desire to be compassionate and caring towards each other. I just thought I'll share that. But overall, I'm very thrilled with the content and I appreciate being here.
Very, very wonderful input from you, Grace. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Grace. My PhD is in well-being, so I mean, obviously, in the organizational context, so I can understand that when it comes to talking about issues regarding mental health and improving, but I mean, there is an issue as well with this. The Gen Z and Gen Alpha using Snapchat and using Meta platforms. There are AI friends as well on that. I know students who actually on Snapchat, they actually talk with the AI bot as a friend. I mean, they are very good friends with their AI bot. I'm not sure whether it's a healthy thing or not. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure about it. But this is something that is there. I mean, it needs to be addressed, I guess.
All right. The last question for you, Dr. Hassan. Chairman Show. Let's go ahead directly and quick, please, with the last question.
Yeah, good evening, Doctor, and thank you for the elaborate presentation.
You're welcome. Let's go to the question, please.
Yes, what are some of the long-term effects of the widespread use of AI in terms of employment regarding some unprecedented groups in terms of recruitment?
You get that, Dr. Hassan?
Recruitment regarding which groups? Sorry, I wasn't able to understand what type of groups.
Can you try to summarize your question, please, Che?
Okay.
Everybody else, please turn off your microphone.
Effects of the wider use of artificial intelligence in terms of recruitment in our society?
Long-term effects of artificial intelligence in terms of recruitment, Dr. Hassan.
Yes, I've already mentioned, and I'll sum it up once again, that recruitment is largely focusing on screening of the relevant and irrelevant employees. So AI and most companies are already using the AI tools to do that initial screening. I think it depends more on in an HR perspective, it depends more on designing the job advertisement in a manner that it automatically discourages the wrong people to apply. I mean, if you have a very diverse set of skills that you would want for a person to apply, then obviously you are encouraging or inviting trouble for your own self. So if the job advertisement is designed in a way that it specifies, for example, let me give you an example that GPA in our part of the world, GPA or the grade point average is one of the tools or one of the ways to shortlist an employee, a potential employee, that is an applicant, that would be the right word. So if the AI is told that you are going to take the data from an applicant and anyone below 3.5 GPA should not be considered for the next stage, so the job of AI becomes easy because it is focusing on the data. But if you ask the AI to decide that whether this person is going to have the aptitude to perform better on a job, then it becomes very tricky because then on what ground would the AI be determining or screening that thing? So there are concerns, and it needs to go hand in hand. The description of the job, the advertisement of the job, and how the AI is actually screening or shortlisting the employees, it needs to be reviewed.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a big, authentic, real feast of academics with Professor Hassan, Omar Hassan, in the arena of artificial intelligence linked to human resources. I'm sure each and every one of you has taken advantage of that presentation. It's going to be at your disposal within our platform at Atlantic International University so that